We have still October. We have Wednesday the 13th, and I'm really happy to have you here in this show. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if you'll have it in a couple of seconds on YouTube as well. Okay, just wait and we go on here on Zoom. So by the way, if you have any questions, then type in the chat box, because we can talk about almost everything. So I want to make a little bit slower that we can see if it works on YouTube. I can see on Skype, my team is working on it. Okay, so give me just a bit. I guess it's a couple of seconds. Great. So, okay, so they fixed it on YouTube. So just a sec. So they're working on it. Okay, so when we stream it on YouTube, they can look watch it there too. And you know there is a button you can subscribe the channel and all this stuff. So don't forget it. So maybe if you missed the show from yesterday or the days before, then you can go through a whole list. There's a video channel from Admirals, and then you can go back on all of any shows we held since January the 18th. So let's see, got some news here. Okay, let me fix it and let me stream my, share my stream here. Okay, here we go. And here we have the chat. Wonderful. So feel free to type in the chat box whatever is in your minds, because we have an interesting topic today. What is a trailing stop? So this is what we want to talk about. And of course, I asked you yesterday a specific question. And yeah, let's see if we will find an answer. You know, my question yesterday was, first two questions was, does time exist at all? Time. And the second one was, where does time frames come from? Very, very interesting question. I will give you a little bit more hints today. So just waiting if we can see it on YouTube right now. So I make a little bit slowly before I go to the charts. You know, we are a team, and team on Zoom and on YouTube belongs together. So therefore I want to wait that the team on YouTube or the listeners on YouTube are also with me. Okay. Let's see. So let's talk about the upcoming events for today. I think the really interesting appointments is the industrial production, which will announced on 11 this morning. And then we have the, as always, every Wednesday, the API weekly statistical bulletin. And of course, very important, where is it? Here we go. Wednesday, we have the oil inventory today too. So be patient if you trade oil, for example. Yeah. Okay. Great. So yeah, that's the upcoming events for today. So not really so much important today. Here you can see it, industrial production, CPI, weekly mortgage, and something else. But for us as swing traders, not really so much important today. If you want to have more news, then of course you will find in the premium analytics, if you have a real account on Admirals, then you can see it here, and you can just click on it, and here you see a lot of information, G7 political economic calendar, what will happen today, and all this stuff. If you are interested in that, Admiral makes a lot of effort to give you this really interesting news. Let's go to our charts. Oh, if you want to see a cool webinar this afternoon, then Forex trading for beginners. Paul is talking about one of the most awesome traders I know in 3 o'clock this afternoon. So don't miss it. It's really, really cool, especially if you start with trading, then this is your webinar. And I promise you, you will learn from one of the best traders I know. Okay, so let's start. And we want to start with our DAX 10 minutes. So let's continue with drawing the trend properly. So yesterday we saw another trend continuation, and afterwards there was a trend break here. There was the trend break there with the move up, which means we had a new uptrend. And that was the new uptrend. This is the first trend arm. So, and this was the second trend arm. And now it's important to see, was there a trend continuation or not? Yeah, not really, not really. So therefore, that was the deepest point. Yeah, and maybe there was a bit of trend continuation, but to be honest, we have, you see, we have this kind of spikes over the 0.2. It's always the same like this. No close, no close, no close, no close, a bit of close, but without volume here. That's really strange. In my opinion, it's not really a trend continuation. For a trend continuation, you know, I want to see this. This is a trend continuation, yeah, but not this. Yeah, it is a technical close, yeah, but basically not really, without volume. If there were volume, then we had seen a lot of move to the upper side, but actually it doesn't happen for the moment. So, and now you see we are circling around the point of control, and yeah, where were a possible entry yesterday? Here you see we had a lot of balance candles yesterday here, and it was enough to go up to the 0.2 to make money, or maybe here roundabout again up to the 0.2. Here you could make money when you see the price is not working for you, trail the stop loss into the profit, or maybe here was a chance again up to the 0.2. You see from the correction accumulation phase up to the 0.2. So this is how you could make money, but yeah, it's still the second trend arm. And, you know, only two things can happen, or must happen, by the way. This is a trend break here below the last 0.3, or a trend continuation at the 0.2, really. So only these two things must happen. That's logic. Yeah, trends is there, trend continuation or trend break. Let's see what happens. So let's go to our focus trades. And here we start with Bitcoin. So, and you know, in Bitcoin, there were your chance deep lower in end of September, and you could participate from this cool uptrend back to this point of control. So now we see a correction. Trend is literally old. We are circling of its own point of control. So actually the trend is too old, and we are waiting for a new trend, maybe a trend break, then a new trend up, or maybe a downtrend, whatever, we will see. But here it's not a chance based on the rules, and the 4 rules we trade here, or I am trading. Then let's go to DAX 40 in 4-hourly chart for the swing traders among us. So nothing changed since yesterday. We had a little bit falling prices yesterday, but then they covered it, and we see this recovery, and Yeah, we are just in the red zone, and the trend is too old. So basically in 4-hourly chart, there is nothing to do for the moment. In crude oil also, crude oil is just a really, really old trend. And we have to wait until we see a new downtrend. And then, yeah, it's interesting because the point of control is really quite far away. It's down at $59. So, and we are deep in the unfair price zone, which means, yeah, maybe we have to wait for the next downtrend, especially for the second trend arm. And we have to wait. This will take time because we are really calm in the markets today. Let's go to Dow Jones. And in Dow Jones, it's, yeah, this is what I told you yesterday, which is really, really important. So basically, we have this old downtrend, really old downtrend. So this is the main trend. That's the main trend. So there was your chance, then down, up, and no trend continuation there. So which means 1, 2 is still the third trend arm. So, and now what do we have on the right side of the chart? The right side of the chart, we have an uptrend, move, correction, move, and this correction. So therefore, I said yesterday, your chance to make money is in the second trend arm, which was here. You could participate from this move, is the highest probability. Now we are in the third trend arm. That makes no sense anymore. Okay, we have 65% of probability that the third trend arm is also moving to the lower side. We see a trend continuation. Yeah, maybe it is possible because the daily chart we have a look right now is in the second trend arm. This could be bring the third trend arm in 4-hourly chart down to its own trend continuation. But actually we see this uptrend. This is a kind of correction, but this is the leading trend. And we haven't reached here the 0.2 now. So which means if there occurs a balance candle, maybe you can set a pending order a bit higher there to speculate. Or if you want to make sure, if you want to be a little bit more safe, then you can speculate on a trend of a breakout at the 0.2 and take the money until the price is going up and up and up, then trail the stop bar by bar, for example, yeah, and then take the money what the market will offer you. So, but actually, don't forget, we are in the red zone and the price is quite fair valued. So we cannot expect that the same thing happened if we were in the green zone. Then the gold price. Gold price is also a bit of difficult because we are in the green zone, but the space between the border from the green zone up to the point of control is really small, And you see the first step, we reached point of control already, but without a close. So, which means that the first correction. Then we saw 2 candles with a close. It was a kind of trend continuation, then a correction. And there was your balance candle. That was the signal for your entry. And it was enough to make money because you reached 0.2. We reached point of control, but without a close. Yeah. At the price here, there was a possibility to make partial profits, by the way, and then the trail to stop a bit. So, but we haven't we haven't a trend continuation right now because there was not a close, which means there is another balance candle. And this is what I told you yesterday. Look, there is the entry to reach the point of control again, or maybe to see a final trend continuation over the 0.2, which is there, and then we fulfill the hit quote. Yeah, so this could be possible. So let's see what happened. Your entry was yesterday here. Maybe you can ask, can I go to the, can I open a trade in gold too? It's just up to you. You can maybe a little bit higher at this point too and speculate on a trend break. But you know, we always talk about the price, yeah? And we will talk about the price, and we want to come out of the accumulation phase, buying cheap, selling expensive. This is the principal rule of all trades around the world. Okay, so euro US dollar. Euro US dollar. Still an old downtrend. This small uptrend was not successful. So now we don't have an uptrend. We are still in a green zone, deep in a green zone. Price is extremely cheap, which means at any time there will be a new uptrend. There must be, because we are really, really cheap in the price. Just a question of time, just a question of time. So, and finally, British pound, US dollar. Here we go. We have still this uptrend. So, and still not really a trend continuation. We are still in the second trend arm. You see, they try to do it. This is a game, yeah? Because, you know, if you want to sell something, you need buyers, yeah? And this is really interesting game between institutional money and unexperienced private traders. Private traders are speculating on the breakouts, yeah, without deeper knowledge, and they don't have a stop loss there. But then the breakout happens, still the mass is buying, and the institutional comes with the selling positions, and this presses the price to the lower side again. This is the game. So this small close is just based more on a coincidence. Yeah. So a couple of minutes later, by a time difference maybe, then you don't have a close there. Okay. So, but there was now the other chance. There was a balance candle too, which means if you want and if you trade 4-hourly charts, you can speculating still finally of this trend continuation and maybe reach the points of control. So trade management could be interesting if you make a partial profits, if you will see a close above the last point to a clear close. Then you can make a partial profit, trail the stop, maybe bar by bar, or add a space that in the worst case, when the price comes down, that you don't make a loss, that it's a zero game at least, yeah? But if you reach point 2 with a close and you see the trend continuation, it's against the rules that you make loss them, because the strategy says accumulation phase, acceleration phase. Accumulation, buying cheap, selling expensive. Yeah, this is the strategy. The rest is trade management. This is up to you. But logic says it makes no sense if I reach the strategy and the strategy is successful that I make loss afterwards. That makes no sense. Most of traders has problems to close a trade. Me too in the past, because we are always focused on money. So try to switch your focus on rules. This is what we have to do. So let's go to our running trades. And before we do that, and I'm not sure, Nastia, if we have a poll of today, if your connection is working today. Yeah, here you go, it works. Thanks a lot. So my question for you is, do you know the difference between a hard stop and a trailing stop? So 3 options. I don't use a stop loss at all. Or maybe, yeah, I know the difference. Or maybe, no, I don't know yet. So do you know the difference between a hard stop and a trailing stop? So feel free. Well, we jump into our running trades. And this is the British index. And here we go. We try to continue with this trend. And we stuck to the rules, or we stick to the rules. So that's my second trend arm. And we are still speculating that we see a trend continuation. Therefore, the stop loss is above the last point 3. And let's see what happens. Then next one, is DAX 40 in daily chart. You know, daily chart for me is the only time frame I can afford to make sure that I don't miss a signal. So here also the same. We have this trend, move, correction, move, correction. So there comes the recovery, and we are still speculating on the trend continuation because we haven't seen a trend continuation with the close yet. We are a bit in profit. We are circling around our entry. Let's see, nothing to do. And we have an open trade in Dow Jones. Here we actually a little bit in loss, but here we have exactly the same situation. Move, correction, move, correction. So there was my balance candle. There for my entry. We haven't reached the point 2. We reached, but without a close. So therefore, I'm still speculating that we finally will have a close below the last point 2. Therefore, there is my target. Yeah, just to take this move. So that's the running trades. Actually, I have open, no more, no less for the moment, because I have no more signals. So now I can give you an answer to your questions. So Euro USD, actually, we talked about VTI also. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. This is what I can give you. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. Yeah, there's a trend on the right side of the chart. And I have it on my watch list because we are in the move right now. We are on the move, and I'm just waiting for the next correction and then to go up again. Maybe we will reach this top here again. Yeah, let's see. But it's on my watch list too. Yeah. Okay. So I have 5 minutes. I have no more. Oh yeah, true. I have, because so this is Euro Swiss franc, but we talked about yesterday already. In Heikin Ashi, you don't see it really clear, but here you can see the more clearly. So here we have this move, this correction, this move, and now a small correction. And as I mentioned very often, in a second trend arm, you can ignore rule number 3 a bit. We don't need a close above 38%. It's enough if we see a correction. So, therefore, we are speculating on a breakout to the lower side. So, therefore, I set the pending order exactly at the point 2. Yeah, and you see, I don't have an open trend. I'm still speculating because the price is moving up a bit. So, I leave the order there as long as I get a new signal a bit higher, or we see a trend break, then the idea is over, or we see the breakout, and then I have a trade. This is Euro Swiss franc. And also this in Platin. Yeah. And here we go. We can see it in, of course, in Heikin Ashi too. It's very interesting. So this is my trend. Very, very nice trend. Sehr clear, very clear, pure move correction. Yeah, there was a bit of close above. Now we see the correction. You see, there is not really a close. It is a close. Therefore, yeah, sometimes I check it here in normal candles, and then you see there was a big close. So here you can see it more clear. Move. And you see, there was a clear close. Yeah, correction, movement. Now we have a valid trend. We see the correction. Therefore, I want to go up. Just this breakout at the point 2 and see what's happened there. So therefore, I have Platin still on my watch list. Okay, let me give you a little bit advice. Just for you, this is a kind of deep knowledge. Normally, I teach people in coaching. So first question today, do you know the difference between a hard stop and a trailing stop? So yes, I know the difference, and no, I don't. What makes me really happy that no one says I don't use stops at all. I'm really happy. So I see you have learned a lot of things here. So the difference between hard stop and trailing stop is there is no difference, basically, because a hard stop is the stop loss where you get out of the market, and the broker or the market can see this order in the order book. A trailing stop is also a hard stop, but a trailing stop means if you are in profit, you trail this hard stop at a specific kind of trade management, 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. If you are a trend trader, or if you want to just use this move from the accumulation phase above or below the last 0.2, then you trail the hard stop, kind of trailing bar by bar. But hard stop means if the price touches your stop, then you are out. Yeah, it's a different to a so-called soft stop, mental stop. No one knows, just you or the software. But this is the difference between a hard stop, and there's no difference. To be honest, there is no difference. Hard stop and trailing stop is exactly the same. When the price reaches the stop, you are out. Yeah. So this is good to know. Yeah. If you want to make sure that you don't get out, if it touches with a spike, then maybe you let your stop at the first place you opened your trade. You are called initial stop. Initial means you open a trade and your stop is at a specific 0.3, for example, and the rest you work with a so-called soft stop. Yeah, and the soft stop is just only acting on a close below the soft stop, and then you trail your hard stop, and then you get out. Yeah, but not with a spike. This maybe is a cool thing to trade. And let me just about the question of yesterday. First of all, does time exist? Basically, it's a really difficult question. It really goes deep. Does time exist at all? No, it does not. Why is it? Ask Mr. Albert Einstein. Mr. Albert Einstein proved that time and space is relative. And we can prove it today. And if you ask a physician, yeah, and I have a client, this is a physician, a physician? Physica. However, you know what I mean? He confirmed time as itself, as an ultimate thing, does not exist at all. And if you say, but I can see it on my clock, yeah, it's your perception, it's time. So now it's 9 o'clock. So for example, in Bangkok, it's 2 o'clock afternoon. In London, Marie-Louise, I guess it's 8 o'clock, right? So different times, different perception. And by the way, I give you an example that you can follow my thoughts. I give you an example. For example, if you sit on a chair of a dentist, yeah, you have to go to treatment for your teeth, and he has made a big surgery on your teeth, you know, kind of really big treatment. How long does that feel for you? Not how long does it take, how long does it feel in your perception? Maybe it takes time, 5 minutes, yeah, maybe 10 minutes, or maybe 15 minutes. But how long does it feel for you? Think it through. It feels it will never end, this pain. It feels like it will hours, exactly. It feels like hours. You can compare it if you have a really boring job. Yeah. How long does it feel? How long is such a day of 7 hours? Normally day, 7 hours. But if you have a boring job, You have that feeling if it never ends. Endless. And now compare it with a really, really cool and lovely time, excited. If you, with your friend or whatever, if you make party or something like that, how long does it take? A weekend. You have a lovely weekend. Yeah. Thanks God it's Friday. Oh my gosh, it's Sunday. Over and out. How long does it take? A really lovely time. 3 days or in vacation. You know, how long does it feel? Not how you long can calculate or count it. How long does it feel? It flies away, over and out. So like me, 30 minutes just away because I love it. I love it to teach you. 30 minutes is like nothing. But maybe you are that guy who said, Markus, you are so boring. When are you done with this session here? Yeah, then it will take everlasting. So you see, time as an ultimate thing does not exist. Because if it were ultimate thing, every human being had exactly the same perception of time. But it is not. Think it through, really interesting thought. And as a logical consequence, where does time frame come from? Because in the order book, where everything starts and ends of every trading, there is no time. There is no time frame. Just buying, selling, no time. So where does time frame come from? From the broker? No. You and me. Because you are the one who decides what you want to see. Because you decide if you choose 5 minutes or 1 hour. And I know guys, traders, they work in 3 minutes. I know guys, they swear on 7 minutes charts. So what's the big picture from 7 minutes? What's the big picture of 5 minutes? What's the big picture of 1 hour? If time does not exist, and if in the order book is no time frame to see, so where does time frame come from? I send you on this journey to think about it for the rest of the day. And tomorrow, maybe we'll see what answer you have found. I wish you a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. A lot of thoughts. Take it on your pillow to make a meditation. Maybe it's a good thing. Take a walk and think about it. It has a big, big impact to your trading. Have courage and be kind. And may the force of the rules be with you. See you tomorrow.